All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ken Huron, and I'm going to take you through a little recovery session today. Okay. So, I want to talk just really brief about recovery before we jump in, though, because recovery is a bunch of different aspects. But in the main sense of recovery, is you're going to perform stronger workouts or more intense workouts. And these recovery sessions are going to be something that is lighter activity. So, in general, walking, cycling, even swimming could be good recovery sessions. They don't have to be specific exercises that we do. Now, we're going to go through a recovery session today that's pretty much for the total body. We're going to try to open up all the muscles, elongate the tissue, and even try and get everything nice and flexible. If you want a chair, we'll have one at the end that you can use a chair. So if you have a chair close by, you can use that. We'll mostly be using our body and the mat. I'm going to show you a couple other recovery tool items that we can use. And then we're going to give one lucky participant one of these recovery items. So be your choice of a hyper gun or a hyper ice foam roller. It vibrates at the bottom, and then we have these hyper spheres. So just our little thanks for joining us today. But the last thing I'll say about the recovery is one of the things that we make a big mistake on when we do that first workout in a while, or we do this really heavy workout, we think that we need to shut it down. We've all had where we go to sit down and everything hurts after a workout. One of the best things we can do is not shut it down, is actually be active. Do something that moves our body, because this in the end is what is going to help us recover faster. That's what we call it, active recovery. So in honor of National Recovery Day here, I'm going to take you through a small recovery session. So go ahead and get yourself ready, and let's go ahead and start on the mat. So we're going to start on the ground. We're just going to come to the ground and on our back. These are called hip crossovers here. So what we're trying to do with the hip crossover is we're going to try to open up the hips, the intercostals, and a little bit of the shoulders. So you're going to have the hands straight down. We're going to bring the knees up over the hips. And all I want you to do here is rotate down with the hips. Try to keep your hands planted into the floor as we rotate. Then we're going to bring our hand over. Then we're going to bring our hands back and rotate our hips all the way over, just like that. And then we want to keep this hand here. That way it stretches out that back and those intercostals for us. Let's go ahead and keep rotating. Very good. We rotate all the way over as before and bring that hand over. Rotate all the way through. Very good. And then through. We're at number 4 here. We're going to do about 10 of these. We're going to rotate through. I love bringing the hand over. You don't have to. You could keep the hands and just do the lower body. But I feel like bringing those hands really opens up that shoulder and that upper back area. Good. Coming over. A couple more each side, and we'll be done with these. Excellent. Coming through. And rotate it all the way over. We got one more each side. All the way through. Rotate. Let's bring it back. Great job. All right, very good. Now, those are going to be our hip crossovers. Again, opening up the hips, getting our back, getting our intercostals going. All right, from there, our next one up we're going to look at is actually going to be a standing exercise. We're just going to open up the arms here. So we all done these. If we've ever played any recreational sports, you always started with those arm circles. So the idea with the arm circles is just that you're using your lateral deltoids, you're using your chest, you're using your back to kind of move those hands. So we're going to go back and forth here. I'm not really one for 10 forward, 10 backwards. I just want you to kind of keep changing rotation, keep changing position, because this is keeping the joint moving, keeping the joint going. Now, we've done these kind of half circles. I want you to open them up now to bigger circles. Good. And it's just, when we get to here, pinch those shoulder blades at the bottom. Here, pinch the shoulder blades together. Good. 3, 2, 1, and let's come forward now. big swooping forward. Excellent. Good, good, good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Now we're going to go back down to the mat. And yes, we could do 2 mat exercises in a row, but the idea is to get you moving, right? We're recovering from whatever we're doing. So we want to go up and down. We want the body to have to do some movement. Now here, we're going to focus on glute bridges here. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to pull that belly to spine. So that means your belly button's here. Think of a string being attached to the back of your belly button, and it's pulling your back in. So you're going to take that space between your lower back, you're just going to pull it down. It's a small hip shift. The hips kind of come this way, right? They just kind of rotate this way. Once we're here, all I want you to do is keep those feet flat. I want you to squeeze at the glutes like you're cracking a walnut there. Push them straight up so that you feel the core activating and the glutes activating. Good. Let's go ahead and drop it down. Let it all rest. Now tighten that glute, tighten that hip, belly to spine. Squeeze up. Good. That's number 2. Squeeze down, squeeze up. 3. Very, very good. The idea with this one, we're trying to lock in that core. We're trying to not use our lower back to lift us up, but we're trying to squeeze up with our glutes. This is a really, really good one. If you ever have any low back or sciatica or anything that goes down through the nerves, bothers the legs and the feet, this is a really good one, because when we actually do that belly to spine, get to the top, we're actually opening up that hip complex, and all the nerves and everything that flow through there, the blood vessels are all kind of freed up if you have any pinching going on. Good. Let's go 2 more here. Squeeze up. 3, 2, 1, and back down. Here we go. Squeeze up. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Excellent job. Let's come up from there, and we're going to actually come to a kneeling position next. So this next one is a fun one for the ankles and the feet. So a lot of times we get really tight in the ankles, the calves. We roll the ankles a lot. So this is a really good one for ankle mobility. And what I like to do with this one is, this is going to be at 90 degrees, my left side. My right side's forward. I'm going to take my foot and I'm going to put it past my knee. And then from there, what I want to do is I want to shift my knee all the way to the front of my toe. Now, if I feel like that's too much of a shift, maybe my foot's too far forward. Now I can shift this, and the knee's going to actually go a little past the toe. And the idea of this is, now I'm working on that ankle, and then I'm just going to shift it back. All right, so we're just going to shift it forward. And you can have the hands here. You can have them here. You can have them to the side. It's up to you. You can even, if you want to get a little hip flexor in here, you can lift it straight up. So we're just nice and slow, coming back, coming forward. Good. Got about 5 more here. 5. Excellent. 4. 3. Good, good, good. 2. Last one on this side. And 1. Another good way to do this is to put the toe against the wall and then try to bring the knee to the wall. That can also really help with that ankle mobility. So we are getting some stretching going in the hip flexor and the hamstring, but this is really about those ankles and mobilizing those ankles. Because from here, to show you straight on, we could also take this and just take our hand, push it like this. Yes, we're moving the knee, but we're actually moving laterally on that ankle. All right, let's go ahead and do this other side. And if you need to pad up, you can roll the mat a couple times if this is hard on the knee. All right, so we want to put that foot forward before the knee. I want to shift forward. 1. And remember, I could lift this up. 2, like that, or I can just keep the hands on the knee. Try not to push. 3, you can just hold on for support. 4, excellent. Bring it back as much as you can. 5, very good. Good ankle mobility. 6. 4 more here. 8, always breathing. 9, exhale on exertion, right? This is our push. And then we inhale, coming back. Great job on those. All right, breathing is a big, big part of recovery. Oxygen to the body really makes everything work really, really well. All right, the next thing we got for you. We're going to take this chair. You don't need a chair in this case. You just need something to kind of hang on to. But what we're going to do is some lateral leg swings. So I'm going to show you without the chair, just in case you don't. Hands come out to the side, and all we're going to do is like this. Now, if you don't have the chair, you can kind of swing and step out. Swing, step out. If you have the chair, you can kind of hold on and just swing back and forth, not falling. Just swing up and back. And I'll show you from this view as well. We're here to here, here to here. Let's go ahead and do the right side only. 3, 2, 1, down. 1, 2, and we're not trying to move the upper body too much. 3, 4, we're not doing any of this. That's when we get all out of balance. 8, 9, 10. Very good. Let's do the other side. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Shake those out. Excellent, excellent job on those. All right, next thing we've got is we're going to do a little lateral lunge to a hold. Now, normally our lateral lunge is stepping out, sitting in. Big thing with the lateral lunge, when we sit, we want to sit back. We don't want to shift forward on the knee. So we're here, we'll sit, but we're going to hold. What we're going to do is we're going to take the hands to here. We're just going to reach them down here and then come back up. So that's the hold we'll do, just long enough to reach those hands out. We're going to go one side at a time here. All right. So we're just going to do 5 and then switch. So going to your one side, step out to the side, sit back, bring the hands straight down. Good. And 1. You should feel that coming, pulling in here, also in the back of the butt. Good. Down. 2. Excellent. Reach those hands. 3. Good. And if you need to reach a little further, oh yeah, 4, there we go. Good, good, good. And 5, gonna shoot over here. Same thing, going the other direction. Here, reach it, 1. Excellent. Try not to reach it too much that you're now leaning forward. There could be a small lean there, but not a big one. 2, 3, always breathing. 4, excellent. 5, very good. Shake those out. Excellent, excellent job. All right, my next favorite, inverted hamstrings. Some people call these bird dips. The big thing here, you can use a balancer. All right, I'll show you from the side view here what we're looking for. Hand out to the side, leg goes up. If you're using the balancer, I'd like you to not touch the leg down. But if you're not using the balancer, you're going to come here and then maybe a little toe touch, just like that. If you're using the balancer, I prefer to use something to balance myself on. This is basically going to allow us to get further into that hamstring. It's called an inverted hamstring because that's what we're doing. We're inverting the hamstring on the planted side. It's holding us up and slowly bringing us back. That's the idea. All right. One side at a time. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 1, 2. Excellent. 3, 4, and 5. We'll just do 5 each side and make sure we get through all of them here. Here we go, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, we got 2 more to go here. The next one we're going to do is called a reach to Y squat. All right, sometimes called a sumo to Y squat. We want to get in almost that sumo position. You see, I've got wide legs here. The hands come straight up for that Y squat. This is how we stand into it. But what we do is we start by reaching to the toes. Then we sit deep into that squat. Then we make that Y and stand up. Sound like a plan? All right, let's give this a shot. We got 5 of these. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and reach to the toes. Sit up and 1. Good. Make sure when we're reaching, straight legs. Now sit chest high as you can. Hands. 2. Excellent. Good. Sit, 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 sit. 3, 2 more now. 4, last one. Reach to the feet, sit in, and number 5. Excellent, excellent job. Let me show you one more. And while we're doing this, we're going to talk about some other possibilities with active recovery. So if you have the chair, have a seat. And what we're gonna do, if you're laying down, you can be laying on the back and pulling this ankle to your knee. All right. So from a laying position, let me show you all real quick, just in case you don't have a chair with you. We're just going to be pulling it to here instead of the seated version. All right. So from the seated version, this is one of my favorites. This is a piriformis and glute stretch. We bring this ankle up. Now, if you can't bring it this high, what you do is you straighten your leg. You start it down here, just kind of pick up the leg to where you can. And then eventually you'll bring it to straight up. First thing we do, hold on to the ankle here, push down on the knee. This is going to open up the hip flexor. This is psoas hip flexor. You're going to feel it. It feels like you're almost pulling in your hip. That's what we want. Good. We're just going to hold that. This is really, really good if you're sitting all day. It's a good thing to just back out of your chair every now and then. Make sure the chair's stable. And just push, push, push. And then what we do is we switch it to the glute. Now we grab here and here with both hands. We pull that glute up to that left shoulder. And then I'm going to look over my right shoulder. So how we know which side to look over is we're looking over the opposite shoulder that we're pulling it to. And then what you should feel coming all up that glute. Go ahead, keep holding that. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, as we talked about earlier, let's go ahead and switch it. We're going to go to that push down. Active recovery is anything that is a lighter intensity than your workout itself. Now, if you had something that was unique, some of the things that we can look at are, as I talked about before, the walking, the swimming, cycling, but we can also look at myofascial release. Now, myofascial release is the process of releasing fascia through foam rolling or roller stick or even lacrosse ball rolling, or even using equipment like Hyperice. Let's go ahead and pull on it now, where the Hyperice makes a massage gun, which is a pulsing gun. And then they also make a foam roller that vibrates and a couple what they call hyperspheres that vibrate. 3, 2, and 1. Myofascial release is a really, really good way to really open up the tissue before you stretch, before you work out, or even after you work out. The next day after a big strength workout, I really like to use that myofascial release. And I just want to show you all before we wrap up here, a couple of the items you can use. These are rolling sticks. All right, we're going to give one of these away too. We have a couple different versions, but we'll, before you log off today, make sure you go on now. Make sure you have your full first and last name so that we can find you. All right, because we're going to pull it afterwards, just for the timing's sake. So make sure you change your name. If you don't know how, you go to your box, you right click that top little dot in the top right, and then say rename. And just make sure your first and last name's there, so that when we pull the report and pick some names, we know who you are. So we're gonna do a rolling stick. The rolling sticks are great. You can roll out the quads, you can roll out the hamstrings. I love them for the calves, right? If I get into this part right here, I'm gonna roll out those calves. The other thing that we can do is foam rollers, as we talked about before. And then we have these fun little lacrosse balls that we use primarily we use them a lot for the psoas, we use them a lot for the feet. And those are really, really effective as well. You can use tennis balls, you can use lacrosse balls, you can even use golf balls, a little harder though. And the last thing that we look at is these massage tools like these Hyperice guns. Again, we're gonna do either the gun, the hypersphere, or the what they call the Venom, I believe, which is that vibrating foam roller. What the idea of pulsation and vibration is it's opening up the muscle tissue. That vibration, that pulsation is making the muscle tissue respond. And that response is waking things up. It's opening up the fascia so that we get hydration in there. We push out that lactic blood. We make sure that the body is moving efficiently. So that's kind of what we're looking for with recovery. Recovery is so many things, folks. So I don't want you to think that just what we did today is the only thing you do for recovery. It's anything that's at lighter intensity. So hopefully you got a couple things out of today. Hopefully you feel a little bit more open and a little bit more flexible. And hopefully you come back to join us next time. Thank you so much again for joining me. We're gonna run that report, and one of you, two of you lucky participants today will win some of those things. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. It was great.
Absolutely.
Great little cool down.
Yeah, right. That's what it's meant to be, right? It's that little cool down.
Exactly.
Believe it or not, you could actually use this for a warm up as well. In some cases, we probably wouldn't do like the stretching, but we look at it for that elongation and that temperature raising of the muscles. So it's good stuff.
Very true.
Thanks, Ken.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right.